Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Contractor Grow Show. My name is Mark Lamberth and I am your host. In this first episode, I want to talk about who this podcast is for, what we're going to be talking about, who we're going to be interviewing, and how it may be interesting to you. So, back in the day, in the 90s and the 2000s, I was a builder. I built many houses, was on many different crews, and I generally just really like the trades. I like people that are going out into the world every day and building houses in their community or doing additions. I just love that stuff. Now, these days, I run a digital marketing agency called Rocket Science with my wife, who's a co founder. Her name is Haley. And we've been at this for 5 or 6 years now. And what I've noticed talking with builders and remodelers, there are two huge groups out in the marketplace with builders trying to grow their company. And those groups are the first group that has grown their business completely by referral, and the second group, which is also grown by referral, but then they've taken it another step and they've decided to go out into the marketplace and sell to strangers, people who've never heard of them before. And for me, this is really the great game of business. Okay, we start a business, we have referrals, we talk with our family and friends, we do great work out in the community, people refer us. However, with referrals, there's a real limit to how fast you can grow. Okay, you can't go back to your referral base and ask them every week, hey, could you send somebody else over here? That just doesn't really work. And so when you max out your referral network, and we definitely suggest that you do that, afterwards, you're going to have to go out into the marketplace and sell to people who have never heard of you before. And this is a whole different game. Okay. The close rate is much, much lower. Okay. This is a whole kind of process and way that this happens. And the possibilities and the opportunity are absolutely huge. Okay. We've seen companies triple, quadruple in size in a couple of years by taking this on. But it's a different way of looking at business. And so to me, if you want to scale your remodeling business or your window restoration business or your flooring company, if you want to scale it, you're going to have to go out to the marketplace and talk to people who've never heard of you before. It's intimidating. There's a whole process to it. There are three areas of business that I commonly see contractors really need to improve upon. One is the design of their website. Number two is callbacks and follow up on leads that are contacting you through the website. And number three is creating more traffic so that more people see the website in the first place. Let's go back to the first website. Builders often think of their website really as kind of an online brochure. It's static. It doesn't really do anything. It's kind of some photos of the work that they've done. It's got, the phone number, and it's sort of like call us. That leaves out so many pieces of the equation here. Websites these days are much, much more powerful. They can do a lot of the selling for you while you're asleep. They can move people down the sales pipeline easily. And the design of the website itself is very important to convert customers. Literally, if you've got an outdated website that's many years old and was never really set up in the first place, you may be losing 15 to 20% of your top line revenue simply because of that. Everyone that works with you is going to go to your website first, and if they see a broken down website, it reflects a broken down business. Okay, you show up with clean trucks on the job site. They're not all banged up, but your website is kind of banged up. It doesn't really work right. Okay, and it's all run down. So if you haven't really put attention to this, that's the first area of focus. The second area is absolutely huge, and that is responding to leads within a few minutes. So people are getting in touch with you on your website. They're making calls. They're sending over emails. They're sending over web forms. If those folks that go to your website submit a web form and you don't respond to them within 5 to 10 minutes, they're going to go directly to the next competitor. Something that a lot of builders don't understand is that online traffic is incredibly fickle. Okay, folks have no loyalty whatsoever. If they're not a referral, then they're just going down the list. And if you don't answer your phone, they're going to call the competitor. And when the competitor answers, they're going to take care of that business. And then when you call them back a day later, 24 hours later, they're not going to return your call. That's for a number of reasons. One is because they've already taken care of the problem. But the second, which is pervasive, is that they don't trust you. Okay, they've lost trust. They called you during business hours and you didn't call them back. Okay, and you can say, well, I was busy and I was, under the sink, or I was up on the roof. However, your customers don't care. They really don't. Okay, they call. Them calling inbound to your business is a huge conversion signal, a huge engagement sort of metric, and it's something that really has to be nurtured and dealt with. And the solution to this can be having someone in your office that's taking all of these calls, or having a service that is responding to those leads and kind of moving things down the pipeline. Number three is traffic. So when you build a website, folks don't just show up at the website. They typically arrive at your website because they have had a need. They found an ad that you were running online, or they found you, via SEO and Google Organic, and they came to your website that way. Well, if you don't have any ranking in organic and you don't have ads running, those folks can't find you that way. And so, what I say is that there's literally some of your best customers are like right down the street from you right now, a half a block away. They've never heard of you. They're looking for you, and instead they're working with your competitor. Okay, we've got to stop that. So these are kind of the three areas, website, kind of callbacks and follow up on leads. And number three is traffic. If you get those handled, there's a chance that right now there is, 20 to 25% top line revenue in your business that's just sitting there, and it could grow almost immediately by that amount. So, who is this podcast for? This is for builders that want to grow their company, right? So, if you're at six figures and you want to get, if you're doing a few $100,000, if you're doing $500,000, $700,000, and you want to get to 1 million, this is the show for you. We're going to be talking about how to do that. If you're in the low seven figures, you want to get to the mid seven figures, you're doing $2 million, you want to get up to five. This is the show for you. We're going to be talking about how to do that. And if you'd like to grow larger and have an exit, sell the company someday, then the things we're going to be talking about here are going to be incredibly helpful for you to do that. If you have any feedback about how to make the show better, please send it. If you have some guests or yourself would like to be on the show, please let me know. I'm learning just like the rest of us. I'm learning so much from the folks that I talk to for the podcast, and it's going to be a fun adventure. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this episode, and here's to your success.